What's up, traders? Sandro O'Connell with Pristine Capital coming at you with yet another market recap video. It is August 20th, 2021. Please go ahead and click the like button on this video and subscribe to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the price action in the indices. We're going to go under the hood and check out our sectors and style factors. We'll talk about my trading really for the week, what went well, what didn't go so well. We'll go through all of that. Before we jump in, quick risk disclaimer. Nothing in this video should be construed as investment advice or recommendations. Please follow your own trading plan. Oh my God, my brain's not working. Please follow your own trading plan and your own risk parameters. And last but certainly not least, do not YOLO your entire account into any one of my trades or anyone's trades for that matter. Box scores for today, we had the S&P 500 finish up 0.8%. We had the NASDAQ QQQ finish up 1.04%. We had the IWM small caps finish up 1.69%. They were our big winner for today's session. And we had the Dow Jones close up 0.66%. So, oh my gosh, geez. Let's just take a nap after that week of trading. This has been a crazy week. Not going to lie. And this has been to me, it feels like it's been the Super Bowl of trading, where you really got to bring your A game. You got to come in with the correct amount of sleep. You got to have your nutrients in you, because it's really you have to be making quality decisions. And I think we did a very good job of doing that at the Pristine Capital trading community. I love how everything is progressing so far. And I think we have an awesome group of people, and everyone's really trying to help each other, which is great. That was really the goal for me, creating the community in the first place. So let's check out this price action here. S&P 500. We have a nice green candle. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Of course, whenever we get these big sell-offs, there's always that shell shock element where nobody thinks it can happen over here. Then all of a sudden you get blown up, for 2-3 days in a row. And then there's that shell shock where it's wait a minute, you feel almost scared to put risk on again, where it's last time I did that, I got really hurt, so I'm not doing it. But when we get these big sell-offs, these are the best opportunities to really go risk on and throw, that's where you can make a lot of money. This is all kind of coming full circle, because last week, in these couple candles right here, I wasn't really that keen on adding risk. And it was it's not really about your day-to-day P&L, so long as you're setting yourself up for the future and you're thinking about the long game, you're going to do okay. Then we got the sell-off, and then it became, all right, now's the time to really put the foot on the gas. And that's what we did the past couple days. So yeah, S&P 500 closed above all the key moving averages, and it's above the monthly value area once again. So in terms of the technicals, there's nothing bearish about this anymore. Of course, the example that I keep looking back to is right back here in May, where we actually did close above the 20-day, and then we ended up slipping back under. So I'll still be on high alert Monday, but to be honest, this is, everything followed the happy path for the most part. Let's flip over to our NASDAQ. NASDAQ looks beautiful. Look at this. So we're above all the key moving averages, once again, above that monthly value area. And this looks it literally looks like it's on the verge of a breakout to me. So it's tough to really say this is a bearish formation at the moment. We just had two beautiful green candles. Russell, this one is definitely, bringing up the rear, but we did reclaim that 200-day simple moving average today, which is a start. And you can see we did hit some resistance at this monthly value area low. And yeah, we're below the 20-day moving average and the 50-day moving average as well. But yeah, we essentially I guess we didn't even undercut this level from a couple weeks ago. But yeah, now we're trading at the bottom end of the range. Let's see what happens with the Russell. And I did trade the Russell today. Yeah, I had a nice little day trade there. Dow Jones even looks solid. Look at this. So we reclaimed the 20-day moving average. I think we might be just a tad below the 5-day. Overall, what can you say about this? We recovered, we held, looking okay. I'm not nearly as concerned or worried as I was, before this sell-off that we just had. All right, let's jump over to our market breadth. This was another thing that looked really solid. Market breadth, look at this. Do we even remember what it feels like to have market breadth like this, team? Look at this. So we had 85% advancers in the small caps, and then we had 82% advancers in the SPY. We had 83% advancers in the Dow. Bringing up the rear was our NASDAQ with 74% advancers. Heat map, look at this. This is a beautiful green heat map. Some top performers, NVIDIA was very strong, Tesla very strong. Really all these FANG, really everything was pretty strong, to be honest. But yeah, NVIDIA, and this is one that I traded yesterday. We'll talk about this when we go through my trades. Yeah, NVIDIA, look at this. This, was leading the NASDAQ today. I can't really say there's anything bearish about the way this chart looks. This chart looks awesome. And then, of course, Microsoft. I monetized both my NVIDIA and my Microsoft today. Yeah, Microsoft, really nice breakout. There's nothing bearish about that as well. All right. So that is our heat map. Sectors. We have... Yeah, so our blockchain assets crushed it today. I traded MicroStrategy. I put a pretty big position on in MicroStrategy. So I was really one with MicroStrategy today. I was watching it pretty much the entire day. And it ended up, I think it had a pretty decent close. And then what else did we have? We had biotech, which was up 2.9%. We had, what else looked good? We had this ARC W up 2.08%. So yeah, a lot of these, risk on and risk off sectors rallying. It was just, a very broad-based rally. Style factors, look at this. They're all green. This is great. So it's always the worst when everything's red all the time. Then we had our cyclicals up 1.66%. We had growth up 1.06%. And there was a really interesting rotation that happened intraday where, the past maybe like 4 or 5 sessions, a lot of growth names have been hanging in there while everything else has been getting pummeled. This morning, it was the same exact thing where the growth names, they were holding up, cyclicals still lagging. Then as the morning went on, then there started, this rotation to cyclicals started taking shape. And so that was really cool. I ended up, grabbing onto the small caps as a way to play that intraday. All right, so let's go through some of my trades. And in terms of just so I would say in terms of how this week went, I have to say I'm very happy with how the week went. For the most part, I think there's, and this is, for anybody that, is not a member of Pristine Capital, this is my current position log. I keep this, updated on a daily basis. And it's pretty cool. I try to just, my goal as a trader, I try to, if something's a loser, I try to close it out as quickly as possible. If something is a winner, I try to keep it, and let it run. Yeah, that's definitely, we're really not supposed to go through that on the market recap, but it is what it is. That happened to me once before where I went through I opened it up by mistake and I ended up redoing the video. I deleted that part out, whatever, but who cares? I don't know. We'll see. It's not a big deal. Okay. So, yeah, so in terms of my trading, I think navigating this risk-off event, I think went well. We used the VVIX risk model, and we were very patient in terms of we're going to be proactive, we're going to de-risk, and we're going to watch out, for any risks on the horizon. When the sell-off really started to present itself, did a good job at getting to safety, getting to mostly cash and put options on the S&P 500. So that really helped. And then in terms of, flipping back around, closing out those puts and getting long, that also worked very well. In terms of security selection, that went very well. I would say this was a good week for me, but I did leave some money on the table though. So there was the one thing that I did not do well, and I guess it's a hindsight thing, but this is something I want to work on, where I was good about cutting losers, very quickly. And boom, something's red, I'm out of it. I'm hitting out of it. I'm not letting myself have a big loser, that sort of thing. One thing that I didn't do so well was there's that saying of like cut your losers early and let your winners run. I was actually letting my winners run a little bit too long, to be quite honest, in this kind of like VIX above 25 environment. So I did have a couple of instances where like my trade locations were on point. Like I was hitting everything, honestly, like good security selection. But there were some instances where I would say like put an options contract on, I would get 30% winner, like within sometimes like 30 minutes, honestly. And then instead of being like, let me book a single and just like book that, I was in the mindset of like, I want to hold my winners as long as I can. But that a couple times during the week actually was a hindrance because I would go plus 30% on those options and then they would come back in as the market was super volatile. And then when everything would come back in, then suddenly I'd be under pressure because I don't want to let a big winner turn into a big loser. So if that options contract, say it went down like, went down 3% or 4%, you're sort of like forced as a risk manager, like, well, now I have to cut that because, we all know what can happen when you don't cut it. When you don't cut it, then that'll be the time where it goes from negative 4% to negative 20%, negative 30%, negative 50%. And then suddenly you go, it's negative 50% anyway. And then you just kind of forget about it and you let it go to zero. That's something I never like to do. But yeah, so that was one thing where if I'd been a little bit quicker taking targets, this would have been like, oh my God, crazy. But yeah, overall, I would say it went very well. But I always try to like take account of like, okay, how could this sequence have gone better? Like, what could I have done a little bit differently? But yeah, for today's trades, so I got long MicroStrategy at 9:33 a.m. This was my big trade for the day. Yesterday, I had a ton of trading volume. Today, not so much. So MicroStrategy got long for 691 and change. This article came out this morning, and it was basically the U.S.'s second largest mortgage company is now going to be allowing customers to pay their mortgages in Bitcoin. So I saw this and I was like, this is so incredible. We talked about it in our pre-market webinar. And look at this. So I was like, okay, I'm going so bullish on cryptocurrency. I already am. I'm very overweight. But I was like, okay, MicroStrategy is spotting up right at this 20-day simple moving average. This is a great risk-reward entry point. So I got long in the morning. This one ended up being a really nice runner. So yeah, MicroStrategy took that one. Still have that on the books. I got long some IWM. This is the triple leveraged IWM ETF. It's TNA. Got long those common shares for 77.92. I ended up hitting out of those a little bit later in the day for 78.98. I'd paid 77.92. So nice little winner. Nothing too crazy. But I got to take advantage of that move in the small caps. And then let's take a look at these options trades. So this is like a classic example right here. So Microsoft, I hit this one really nice. I entered calls pretty much like yesterday, like right on the open. I closed these out for a nice winner. But what sort of happened to me today was, so I had SE on the books. Let's pull up, we'll pull up Microsoft as well as SE. So Microsoft, really nice breakout. They're increasing their costs for their office products, could translate to more revenue. Really nice breakout. So with this one, I was like, okay, I'm going to try to stick with this one as long as possible. Let it run. I have November call options after all. And these were about like a 70% winner within, 2 days. So I was like, okay, this is great. I can ride with these like a long time. We'll see what happens. But my SE was not really being cooperative today. And this, I'm glad I hit out of it because this was essentially like a failed breakout. And what can happen is, if you're just in common shares, like I kept my common shares on the books. If this breakout fails, then maybe you get another pullback to the 20-day moving average. So when that happens, not a big deal. Little pullback. But yeah, with something like this, if you're holding options, that can become like, you might end up stopping out or whatever. So this SE started turning around and the market started pulling back just a little bit. And then suddenly I think my SE went from maybe like a 10% winner to like -2 or -5%, something of that nature. So I ended up going, you know what, I'm going to take off SE for a small loser, and then I'll take off Microsoft, you know, for a big winner. I also closed out my NVIDIA September 17th, 210 calls for $5. I had paid $5.35 for those. I just would rather play this name via common stock. NVIDIA, this one ended up being, you know, a really nice winner throughout the day. So I think with NVIDIA as well, this was one where I was sitting on maybe like a 20% winner at one point or a 30% winner. If I had just booked that, hey, I'm going to take the single, I could have been, you know, likely just buying the dip in NVIDIA, no problem. So this one, I think that was like the little adjustment. Like in this kind of environment where we're now like the Fed is tapering, like that's a huge difference from like a huge expanding balance sheet, whatever. I think in this tapering environment, it's going to be, you know, the conditions are when you get a really nice move, at least book part of it. So I think for NVIDIA, you know, this one could have been even better. So yeah, on a net basis, you know, did pretty well with the options, but I think this could have been like a lights out day. So we'll see. Yeah, it's I'm still happy with it, but can always improve upon that. And then what else do we have? So that was NVIDIA. Let's real quick, we'll pull up our options. Let's see. So we're going to go to our VigTech platform. Let's take a look, and we will see our options races. Yeah, check this out. We have Tesla, we have Amazon, boom. Yeah, so we had a lot of activity in Microsoft, J&J, some of these more like conservative names. And then Tesla pretty much always has a ton of flow. Yeah, so a lot of the same, you know, repeat offenders. J&J is definitely a name that doesn't appear very much on this list. So let's look at J&J. Yeah, this one looks pretty great. Yeah, we didn't even get a pullback to the 20-day, and we're just zooming higher. So yeah, J&J looking pretty fantastic here. All right, guys, with that being said, that about does it for this market recap video. Hope you all had an awesome session. And yeah, very well-deserved weekend, everyone. I know this week was definitely, you know, a whirlwind in terms of trading. So definitely enjoy the weekend. Hope you all get some rest and relaxation. And I will see you all on Monday.